Oh, so true. This is one of the quickest ways that you can actually tell if someone actually grew up in a narcissistic family or not when they claim to. Look at their relationships with their siblings. It is incredibly rare, as in I've only seen it maybe once or twice in someone that I would consider to be a true narcissist, but it's very rare that the siblings in a narcissistic family remain close, and that happens for a couple reasons. Number one, growing up with siblings in a narcissistic home, you get pitted against each other, right? Like, for example, in my house, it was academics were used a lot, right? When I was in school, my mother would tell me how much better at school my brothers were and how much smarter they were and how many more awards they had won, and basically like hinted at you wouldn't be as loved as them unless you do better than they did in school. And there was lots and lots and lots of other little comparisons that would get made along the way, right? Like, well, he does this or he does this and you don't do that. And I'm sure she was doing the same to my brothers. So you grow up not trusting your siblings. You grow up seeing them as competition, not allies. And that's on triangulation. Now, outside of that, you also have the fact that those siblings are more than likely gonna pick up some nasty behaviors and some nasty traits and survival mechanisms. One of them might spiral into substance abuse. Another one might show some really narcissistic relationship patterns themselves. The rest might turn into traumatized nightmares. That in itself doesn't lend itself to closeness, right? Each one of those siblings ends up struggling with, trauma, upset, hurts, beliefs, systems that are forced on them. And as they struggle with that, it's not really easy to be close to each other. And then you have the fact that there are elements of narcissism that are genetic as well as environmental, which means some of the siblings might turn out exactly like their narcissistic parent. And this is why you see me harp so much and using examples of the Richard sisters, right? Because again, I'm not saying that they are narcissists or that they were raised in a narcissistic family, but we see similar patterns, right? We see them triangulating one another, triangulating people around them. We see not a lot of emotional closeness. We see a lot of volatility, a lot of changing sides and alliances. That kind of game playing is how kids survive, how siblings learn to survive in a narcissistic family. And that's how they learn to live and play the game. And that's why this is so true. In narcissistic families, especially, parents play divide and conquer with their kids. They play divide and conquer. And that means a lifetime of not trusting one another enough to be close. Sad but true. What do you think? Have you experienced this as a sibling in one of these families? Let me know in the comments and follow for more.